hotel, just, but this one is fancy. I love it. I've gone to REIAs around the country, and I've noticed how boring it is. And then you just have some guru up here trying to sell you on how to do something. Now, there is great gurus out there, and sometimes we work on them, but we do not bring them to this floor. This floor is about people that are doers getting the stuff done for the kids that are in here. Getting the stuff done. And that's the whole idea behind our REIA group. If you guys have been with us, we've been around since 2007. I took over in April 2020, officially in June, I think is when we made the announcement. But my wife and I started this group. My wife's running the front door if you haven't met her. But we had like 72 or 74 members when we started. We have over 440 members of this group now. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. And of course, we couldn't do that without our sponsors. So I do like to give some recognition to the people that help us. Your $249 covers our expenses for these events, but our sponsors are the ones that actually keep the lights on. So they're the reason that we're able to keep our prices low. We're one of the lowest cost REIAs to join in the country. Also, we have some of the best retention. I'm gonna toot our own horn here a little bit. The average REIA retention is about 40% turn of their membership group every year. And the main reason is that there's somebody up here trying to sell you on something. They take all your money out of your pocket, and then you don't come back. Well, here we like to keep that money back in your pocket, and then you guys will keep on coming back again. I had somebody reach out to me the other day, and they go, "You don't have any events for rookies." And I was like, "Well, we're going to make sure we do a little bit better job of that." But our group can just keep us on getting higher and higher level because the retention is right there. So that part we're really proud of. So get to know the people that are next to you. There's a lot of people that are getting a lot of stuff done in this room. Back in the day, I used to always say, hey, and I haven't done this in probably a year or two, but if you are a investment real estate agent, will you guys raise your hand so we know who you are? You guys specialize in that? If you were a contractor, where's my contractors? I can't raise my hand on that one. Yes. And who does has had or has multifamily properties? Anybody in that category? What about Airbnbs, midterm rentals, commercial properties like strip malls? How about car washes or storage units? What else am I missing here? Trailer parks. Anybody do trailer parks? What else? International stuff outside the country. There we go. Think about what you are doing and what you want to do, and get to know the people that are next to you, because there's a lot of successful people that are kicking ass right here in this room. So take advantage of that. And if there's somebody that you can't find that is doing what you want to do, come talk to me, and I'll point you in the direction. I'll make an introduction. Okay. Plus, if you have questions, just like DM me on Facebook. That's usually the same thing. You got to DM me because I'm still blocked till May 11th, and then I can't DM you. But if you DM me, I'll respond back, and we'll get something set up. We also meet at Cigars. Yes. May 11th at 2:35 a.m. I'm out of Facebook jail. Yes. And then I can start doing right now I can only post on my own personal page. I can't comment. I can't run my groups. And I can't message anybody new, and I can't do paid ads. And that kills the events. So, and I also can't do live video, which is really a pain in the butt. So all that will come back. I'm super excited. And Facebook cannot tell me why I'm banned, just so you guys know. Talk to them for lots of hours. But enough about me. First off, I again, can you guys give a round of applause for my staff that's at the front there? Sarah helps out there at the front door. She's been amazing. We brought her on a couple months ago to help out. My wife Jessica is out there. That's my son Carson right there. He's helping out the last couple months. It's a family affair. And then also DB Video and their staff. They've been helping us since we started, technically, right? And so over there, Denlis, wave your hand. He's been helping us out. Alex over here, he's been doing our YouTube channel now for Cash and Dash, and he's taking some photos. He's helping us really blow the podcast up. So thank you, Alex, for what you do. So I got one booth sponsor I'm gonna go over and shout out, but the rest of the sponsors have something to do with today, and I'm gonna invite them up individually. But I want to go over here and invite MOTAC, and that's Metro Omaha Tobacco Association Coalition. Action Coalition. I was so close. I have an association in mind, so that's where that comes from. But can you tell us a little bit about MOTAC, what you provide, and then there's a lot of people in the room who don't know who you are and what you do. Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalia Trinidad. I'm with the Metro Omaha Tobacco Action Coalition, and we partner with property owners, property managers, and developers to implement smoke-free policies. So if this is something you're interested in, we walk you through the process of making this possible. And if you already have a policy in place, then we also help you with enforcement if you're having some difficulties with that. So we have social media pages. We have Instagram, Facebook, and X. And we also have a website, motec.org, where you can also get some more of this information. And we are always open and willing to work with you if this is something you're interested in.
Thank you so much. Cool thing they have too is you have a rental, Airbnb, multifamily, and you want a no smoking sticker in there, come grab one of those. I've been putting those in my units, and it makes life a lot easier. So, and you don't have to go buy it, right? So thank you for that. Also, I wanted to shout out one of our new sponsors, Restoration Omaha. They're going to be here next month to talk with. If you are needing restoration services, they're offering a 15% discount. I sent them some business already, gotten some good feedback. Just so you know, with all of our sponsors, we do a vetting process with them. And we do a background check on the reps. We do check the Better Business Bureau and Google reviews on them. So we do have a vetting process. So Restoration of Omaha, Austin Sidzik is the representative there. Also, a renewed sponsor is CJ Monahan Lawn and Property Services. Members get exclusive discounts, pricing based on your services needed. Mainly, it just depends on how much work you need. The goal with every sponsor is providing you at least a 10% discount. I just had them last month place a whole retaining wall around the back end of a pool that was caving in. Oh, it was quite the deal. And they took great care of me, cleaned up the yard, laid the boards down, broke a sprinkler, fixed it instantly. So no complaints. Everything went really good, which is awesome. Also, I want to invite a sponsor up here, Fiber First, Rachel Larson. They are in with us. You want me to come to you? Or do you want to come up? Okay, come up here. What's that? Okay, I'll come to you. There we go. So just so you know, with the drink sponsorship, after the event, we always find that the best networking happens, and there's a bar attached right over here. They're taking care of the drinks. By the way, margaritas will be on the tab tonight, so they're nice and available. Yeah, so margarita, wine, and pop. So all that's an option there for you. But Fiber First, you're in town now. You're nationwide. Can you tell us a little bit about you, the services you provide, and what's the ideal client for you?
Thank you for the good intro, especially when we have margaritas and beer after this that we're sponsoring. We're happy to do that. So my name's Rachel. I'm with Fiber First. We're a fiber optic internet provider. I want to introduce Cornelia Wiley. She is part of her company basically owns my company. We're sister, parent-child company. Cornelia Wiley, they do the infrastructure build. They are ubiquity, which means ubiquitous. So they don't just build for Fiber First, but we are their preferred provider. So anyways, what Fiber First does is we just supply fiber internet. And our service area is North Omaha. So it's north of Dodge, east of Westroads Mall, and then goes all the way north. So we provide SFU, MDU, and business fiber internet. Our prices are extremely competitive. And so if you have any interest or rental homes or properties, we're really excited to kind of get into like the realtor market. So there is an affiliate program. So if you have realtor friends, it's potential if you kick us a customer, we will kick you some money. And the same thing if you have MDU properties, if you sign with us and your residents sign, we will also give you some money. So it's a win-win situation for all. Also, if you just have some rental properties in that perspective area, we have extremely great prices. So come talk to us. That's it.
I wonder what those referrals are. My mind is turning. I'm like, how much is that? Okay. Also, I want to invite ROG Sterling up here. We have Kim and Tim Stevens representing them. They're one of our top advertisers. Thank you. Also, because we redid some advertising packages, and you're the first person to take advantage, the first company to take advantage of our VIP tables.
Thank you, Ted.
Yeah, so appreciate that. And you guys made it super fancy. It looks nice.
That's because we have Angela.
Yes, Angela.
It's not me. Believe me.
Tim, I'm a hard line 3 minutes for you, okay? Because I know that you might go 10 or 20. But tell us a little bit about ROG, what you provide, and why are you working with REIA?
You bet. Yeah. Well, first of all, before I get into anything about us, I want to talk about you, because I don't think you realize the kind of room you're in tonight. I read this young man's bio that's about to speak, and I'm more excited about it than I could possibly say. When I was a much younger man, I started hanging around some people that talked about the dream all the time. You got to have a dream. You got to have a dream, all this stuff. And I thought, a dream? I'm living a nightmare. What are you talking about? Dreams, right? But here's what I discovered over time, and I think you probably too. If you don't have a dream, you can't make a dream come true. Oliver Wendell Holmes said, we bury most people with their music still in them. You're in a room where you're going to hear a young man's story. If you haven't read his bio, you're in for a treat, man. I mean, because I like people with a few miles on them. How many of you are like me? I like people with some miles on them, man. And I think you probably have some miles on you. Yeah, good. You and I are brothers. That's right. That's right. So a little bit about Realty One Group. We're very investor heavy. We're very investor friendly. I mean, we've got everything from off-market people to people that do subject to people that do equity sharing, to all kinds of stuff. We're, I think, one of 2 brokerages in all of Omaha that have a heavy wholesale influence. So we've got people that do every line of, stuff you can. And I was just talking to a couple of real estate agents in the room, because I know it's hard to believe, but I like to talk. And if you're a real estate agent in the room and you're here, then I would guess you'd want to be with a company that's investor friendly, wouldn't you think? Right? Because here's what I know about investors and what I love about investors. And my wife, Kim, is kind of the short sale queen in a 6 or 7 state area here. She does a lot of short sales, over 600 of them. But I can tell you this, anytime any one of these people would tell you, I say this all the time. What I love about investors is this. If you're a real estate agent and you're doing regular realty services, you're selling about 1 house to a customer every 7 to 10 years. What I love about investors is they buy 7 a year. And they make their decisions totally emotionless. So they don't care if they got the U-Haul and they were supposed to close on Friday and now they can't close till Monday. They don't care. Let's just get the deal done if the numbers work. Make sense? So we'd love to have you at Realty One. And the last thing I'll say, and I love this because, money isn't everything, but as Zig Ziglar said, it's second only to air in importance in the world today. I don't know why anybody would work for somebody that takes 50, 60, 70% of their money. I don't get it, right? I just don't understand that concept. We're a 100% commission brokerage. You need to come over and hear about our story. We'll let you know, hey, if you're going to be doing this anyway, why not keep your own money, right? I don't need a Crystal Palace built to me and drive a Lamborghini. I have a nice life. And you can too. And that's what we focus on, is the agents. So we'd love to have you at Realty One. Thank you, Ted.
Probably one of the best sponsor speaks ever. Great job. Great job. Hey, I just want to give you guys some updates of what's going on. And I got one more person to invite up here in a minute. May 15th, which is a Friday, we have our REIA networking luncheon event. That's every 3rd Friday. It's at the rail car right off of 144th and Blondo. First come, first serve. We got about 40 spots inside there. We usually fill it up pretty good. It's a little bit different than your traditional networking group, though. Everybody gets a chance to speak. There's no presenters unless it's a one-off situation, which there's only been once in the last 5 years. But everybody gets a chance to speak, who you are, what you do, something you're looking for in your business. And then we usually have a fun, crazy question. Right? What was last month? Was that the Chuck Norris Day? Yeah, so I was like, hey, if Chuck Norris was in your business, what would he kick your ass for doing? And so we have one fun question. May 20th, we have our burn rate, which is every third Wednesday. And that particular one is no speaker, no sales pitch, no fluff. We're just networking, we're deal talking. If you enjoy a cigar and you just want to get to know the person in the room, or if you just want to pick my brain and have me answer questions that maybe I can answer, but if I can't, I'll ask the person next to me to answer it. That's what we do. So it's just a cigar group. We usually have about 10 people, maybe a little bit more, but there's room for as many as we want in there. But that's what I have on my sheet. Is that wrong? No, I thought you were questioning me like I told you the wrong date. I'm like, oh shit, did I screw up? Every third Wednesday. Let's just go with that. The time is at 2:30 and it wraps up about 4:30. And you can stay as long as you want. I just got to be home by 5 to coach volleyball. So yes, and then June 2nd, our next event, Jeff. He's the CEO of REI Print Mail. The flyers are on your desk there. He is going to talk about the benefits of doing postcards and the returns that they're getting. They're the biggest print postcard mail company in the world. And the CEO of the company is going to be flying in to speak to you guys. He has numerous other companies. He's got investment properties, but that's going to be the topic. We'll have more information coming out. I've been trying to lock this down for like 3 months. And I called him this morning, and I'm like, I need your final answer if you're coming. He's been at his son's wedding. He's like, I will be there. So just got locked down. I'm so sorry. And I go, otherwise, I have a panel all ready to go, and we're going to do a property management panel, which is going to be coming this year. So yeah, come check that one out. And then June 24th, REIA Mastery Series. That is coming up quick. We have Fernando Angelucci flying into town from Brazil, and he is going to be talking about his portfolio. He's about 34 years old. He's got a portfolio of over 1 million square foot of storage units. The guy's just killing it in his category. He's going to come in a couple days early, and we're going to walk some storage units and he's going to give you his opinion on these ones, what the prices are, what he looks for, and those will be case studies in the event. This is a 6-hour event, and we are going to be accredited by the Real Estate Commission for the realtors out there. I haven't gotten the official form, but I got the verbal that we're approved for this. So 6 credit hours for this event. If you are a member, it's only $150. And so this is a full day event. This is the cheapest one we've done. So if you're interested in sponsoring this event or just attending this event, the flyers are up front, and there's a table out there. Just scan the QR code. We have the tickets for about $120 for this event. Okay, and so if you're interested, please lock this in quick. But last thing we're going to do is invite our last group up here. I want to talk about the OBO and the Omaha REIA 6th Annual Golf Scramble. Who's going to speak on this one? Molly? Okay, so come on up, Molly. She's going to talk about it. I'm not going to give any details so I don't ruin her presentation on this.
Ted doesn't know me very well. I'm never ready for a presentation. I just talk. My name is Molly Renicky. I'm the COO of OBO. In the back is Gerard, who is the founder and CEO of OBO. And yes, July 10th, we are putting on a co-facilitated, co-sponsored golf tournament between OBO and REIA in Council Bluffs at the Country Club. 9:30 check-in. So if you're not a golfer, you can come at 9:30 for some networking, coffee, be a part of what you want to do in the morning. And then if you want to be a golfer, we have different options for you to sponsor a team with partially a flag sponsor, pin prizes. But all in all, it's going to be a wonderful event full of a ton of business owners and decision makers. So we would love to have you all there. Ted came up, and I will give him all the credit. It was his brainchild. We are going to add an additional layer. So if you sign up early enough, you will be able to be part of an additional add-on, which is a virtual golf day. The name of the place, T-Box. So that'll be an add-on. So most golf tournaments, you just get to show up that day, you play around a golf, and you maybe only ever see the people at the tee box or the people before or after your round. But we want to add a layer to that, which will be some fun virtual golf for a very limited number of people, but it'll add some additional great networking as well. So just to give you a little background on what OBO is, started roughly 2 years ago. It's Gerard's baby, and it's been dreamed up, and now there's a huge group of us that are growing it nationwide. So OBO is designed to be a networking group that is made to be different. It's meant to be more relationship-based and intentional. So as you sit in a room, we call them circles. The circles are focused not necessarily to sell to each other, but to build meaningful relationships in hopes that you will then refer each other for business. So we have a ton of information in the back. We would love to talk with you more about it. It's fun to see a lot of familiar faces. And I did bring my laptop. So if you want to sign up for the golf tournament today, we'll be happy to get that done for you.
Appreciate it. If you haven't been to one of our other golf outings, we have a great time. We usually have about 30 teams just from the REIA. And we've had we try, our goal is to have as many tee box sponsors as possible because we want to have a little party at every single tee box. So that makes it a lot funner. Hope you guys can come and check that out. But without any further ado, I definitely want to get forward and I'll cover the podcast afterwards. But without any further ado, I want to introduce Billy Dha Kidd. So everyone, tonight we've got someone a little different for the Omaha REIA, and that's exactly what I'm excited for on this one. Billy brings a message that goes beyond just business and real estate. He talks about mindset, discipline, breaking old cycles, and building a life that actually means something. What stands out about Billy is that the story comes from a real experience. He was born in El Salvador, came to the United States as a young age of 10 years old. And over those years, he built a path through music, business, real estate, and a message surrounded around freedom, growth, and generational wealth. It's a different kind of story than we normally bring to the stage, but I think that's exactly what makes it so powerful. Tonight, he'll be sharing from generational curses to generational wealth, the 7 laws to live the American dream, which just happens to be his new book that is coming out this week, his second publication. So lean in, enjoy, and give us an Omaha REIA welcome to Billy Dha Kidd.
The musician says his next album is all about showing younger artists in the community how to push past anything in life.
It's crazy. A guy from Nebraska is just killing the scene right now. I mean,
yeah, that's what's up, man.
I mean, you're doing songs with SPM, basically legends in the hip hop game, man.
What to do this, Kevin Gates, aka Nebraska. When I'm talking, you need to be listening. We just finished up our video shoot with New Era Music. Y'all go fuck with Billy Dha Kidd. I don't get that.
Kid, he's a verified. He's got a song with Baby Bash.
Ni más ni menos, el más famoso, el Billy Goat.
Billy Dha Kidd to his fans.
And our guest again today is Billy Dha Kidd, and he is a musician, a hip hop artist, a Instagram celebrity, and really around all around cool dude who's done some awesome stuff in real estate. Also does a construction company, has a bunch of other cool stuff, management company, all this cool stuff. You're gonna learn about it today. And what's so cool about today's interview is he's just so darn relatable. Like, he didn't come from a ton of money. He came from actually what he calls is like not like starting from zero, but starting from like negative to get to where he is today. And so it's one of those shows that's inspirational and educational all wrapped in one.
On my $1 million hustle.
Check. How you doing, Omaha? Man, I always love watching that video. It's crazy. We're gonna talk about it today, about gratitude for sure. But go ahead and play my slideshow. And do you guys mind if I do a quick rap for you guys? Man, I think we should have just had you speak today. I was inspired. But so this is my new album. It's called Generational Curses to Generational Wealth, and then that's where the book that I'm gonna teach you guys today came about. And then I have part 2 and 3 already recorded for this, and it's really mindset. Like when you listen to my hip hop, it's just where I'm at now, right? Like I've done my other stuff before, you know. Now I'm a father, I'm I'm a husband. So the message, I've grown with the message. Hip hop is just it's a form of therapy for me. So go ahead and spin that DJ. I'm gonna have Danless be the DJ today. Check it. Yeah, turn it up a little bit, man.
Keep on trying, baby.
Hey, generational curses. Let me know what you guys think. Hey,
Don't give up now.
turn it up a little bit, Dallas. Turn up the music. Turn my mic down a little bit. Check.
Generational wealth,
Check it. Hey. Grew up poor with just a single mama. Her whole life was problems and drama. Matter of fact, this goes back to my grandma. Rough life, and before my great grandma. Each generation's repeating situations. Same old shit, just a different occasion. I saw a bubble that didn't seek education, some therapy. Then I looked at the foundation. I want to live my kids set for life. My kids, grandchildren, also my wife. I want to live my kids' business and properties, not traumas, worries, or anxieties. Previous generations, nothing but trauma. Whatever they did, now we paying it with karma. I told myself that would stop with my daughters. I want to leave them LLC, take trips to Bahamas. Yeah, y'all feel that or what? I appreciate it. I'm going to do one more verse. Here we go. Yeah. Hey, so again, that's my new album. To generational wealth, baby. Check it. Yeah. I won't give up this fight. I keep trying. I was born for you, bet rich, I'm dying. The black sheep of the family, I had enough. My kids, I'ma set them up. I'm talking LLCs, investments, land. I'ma step for them, I'ma have a plan. With abundance, we gon' have a lot. No family fights over a little plot. Getting rid of generational curses. Teach them to invest instead of buying purses. These curses and traumas eliminate. It's okay, feel some and communicate. Previous generations, nothing but trauma. Whatever they did, now we paying it with karma. I told myself that would stop with my daughters. I want to leave them LLC, take trips to Bahamas. Make some noise, Omaha. Generational curses. Yeah. The generational wealth. Don't give up now. Vamonos. Generational curses. The generational wealth, baby. Don't give up now. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Again, music is, when people ask me, what do you do? I just say, I'm just a creator, man. I love creating, and it relates to all my businesses. Like if you ask me about construction, tile work to me is creating, right? Like doing a roof is creating. So that's what I do. So music is just, no matter what, I'm always gonna do it there. I think there it goes. But the thing is that music taught me, I was 15, 16 when I started doing my music stuff. And it taught me about marketing. It taught me about sales. Like I used to go out and sell CDs. I actually signed to a pretty big label in California. Typical stuff that you hear is true. They didn't do what they promised. So I ended up starting my own LLC, and I signed myself, and then I never looked back since. But yeah, if you guys don't mind, take out your phone and follow me on Spotify. I just hit 200,000 monthly subscribers, actually. So pretty cool stuff. I'm on Apple Music, everything else. So check out the album. I have songs on there called LLC, Big Goals, all these different things that I think if you like hip hop or you like a good message while you're out there making your money, you're definitely going to like this. But today, I am here to talk to you guys about my new book, From Generational Curses to Generational Wealth. And again, it's just a branding. I came up with, like I told you guys earlier, you can't be stuck in the same place. You have to evolve as you grow, right? And that's what growth is. So generational curses, generational wealth, and then the subtitle, 7 Laws to Live Your American Dream. If you guys don't mind scanning real quick, leave me your email, and I'm it's May 15th when the book comes out. And if you do that, actually, I'm going to give out, thanks to Ted, we're going to give out 15 free books. But it'll be my old one. If you guys don't mind, it's The Power of Being Uncomfortable is the name of my old book. But I got copies of those. This one's, I tried to really have it before. It just didn't work out. But, you always have to stay prepared, right? So we went with plan B. But yeah, leave me your email. And so who am I? I'll briefly tell you guys about me. That way you guys can kind of see and hopefully see that, like Ted said, I'm not a guru. I'm just an everyday guy that chased his dream, really. And you can too. And that's what I'm here to tell you. We're going to make, I just want to show you who I am. So that way you guys can see that I'm not just talking out of my butt, right? So first, I'm God's son, husband, father, son, older brother, uncle, friend, and I'm a dog dad too. I'm going to show you guys some pictures here. So I have 2 teens. My wife is here with my daughters. And that's why I love what Ted does. Shout out to his family. I just love I just, see the replication. I mean, he's all a family guy, and that's what all of you guys have to do is let's get our family going to break these chains that I was just talking about, right? So I have 2 teenagers. One's graduating this May, freshman, and then, we have a 2-year-old now. She's 2 now. It's a blessing. Definitely, my daughters will ask me sometimes, like, man, she's not gonna have to go through the stuff we went through, right? And they saw some, but yeah, they'll be all right. But so there's Gigi. She's traveled probably, man, a lot. we travel a lot. So that's in Disney, actually, right there. Let me see. There's Raider. So those are my 2 dogs, and then that's Raider, Kiko and Raider. But so this is real briefly. We own $15 million in real estate. We have some companies like New Era Real Estate, which is our investing company. That's where we buy. It's mainly that's kind of like the branch, and then we have a bunch of different LLCs. Which talk to me about that. If you guys have any questions, I would suggest you doing that. New Era Construction, obviously, and as you can see, I just didn't get really creative. I just went through and said New Era Music, New Era Lending. We do some lending. So if you guys are looking for any hard money, that's what we do. I left some cards on the tables actually with my phone number. So reach out, guys. Like that's kind of what I want to do with my free time now is just try to help because at the end of the day, that's how we can break those chains together is by helping each other get better at everything that we do. So the New Era lending card is on the table there. And then we have a flipping company. We do a few flips. I can talk to you more about, like, I'm not, hey, I'm going to do 3,000 flips this year, right? Like, I'm not that guy. I want to be happy. That's the the key. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, guys, because I think sometimes we do get caught up, especially in this industry, in any business in general. So, and then, of course, author podcast. I do have my $1 Million Hustle is the name of the podcast. And my goal is to interview all these people, and then I'm going to compact that into a book. So I could have like a case study. So if you have a cool story, hit me up too. I would love to feature you on my podcast. And then, of course, music artist. I am a mindset success coach one-on-one. I do some one-on-ones. And then I also have a group called a Get Uncomfortable Mastermind. Coco and James are in it. Thank you guys for coming out. I don't have to tell you, like, talk to them, but they're not the same person I met when they joined my group. I can tell you that. And everybody that has gone through it, it's a blessing. That, again, that's my main focus now is I want to be able to help people and make sure that they get to that next level because we all need it, guys. Like I've had coaches, I have coaches, right? Like we all need a reminder. Our brain is a muscle that needs to be exercised, and sometimes you just need that third eye view that you don't see, and it could be just something simple that's gonna make a change in your life and in your business. So I am a geek when it comes to that. And those are my 2 books. It's crazy saying that. Power of Being Uncomfortable. Again, we're gonna give out some copies, and actually I have one here. Whoever wants it, who wants it? Look at this man. That's what I wanted to say. Took action. Give him a round of applause for that. Took action. Come by and talk to me later so I can sign it, bro. So Power of Being Uncomfortable was my first book, and then Generational Curses, Generational Wealth, second book that I'm releasing. I'm excited. And that, guys, like I'm about to give you guys the game from that book. Matter of fact, this slideshow was born and I'm going to give you guys a pro tip if you guys are interested in writing a book or anything. Let me go back. Put it into a slideshow. Do a handbook. Do something simple, and then from there, you create the book. So when I wrote this about a year ago, I had another presentation. I went in there saying, okay, I'm going to put it together as if this was a book, right? Like, and again, stuff that I really went through, stuff that I really believe in. So that's how that came out. So that's a tip. If you need to do a presentation, that could be your book. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's the best business card that you guys could have. So I encourage that. Again, talk to me. I'm a free book, no pun intended. I'm an open book if you guys need help with anything. So, but yeah, so again, lending company, construction company. So it started with this first house, guys. This was my the first rental that my wife and I bought. We did it old school, and I still do a lot of it that way. I think it's the safest way. because now you see a lot of online things saying, oh, get this house for free, right? Like, it's just save up some money. You're going to need it in real estate. But this house, we saved up some from my construction company. So it was like a year after the construction company. And then all the money that I had saved from shows, album sales, shirt sales, whatever, when I would go out and I had a van wrapped up, I would go and sell merchandise essentially and do shows. That money went here. So then I bought another house, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about that later, but I kept buying single families. Then we bought duplexes, and then a mixture, more houses, and we just kept buying. Then we bought a few fourplexes on that block there. Then we bought some nineplexes and so forth and so on. And I'm going to tell you guys about that. I just built my house 2 years ago. Sorry, I get a little emotional because it's been a lot of hard work to get here. And we're really proud. My wife and I worked really hard to build this. So thank you. One pro tip that I want to give you guys: build your own house. Like, I know I'm a contractor, and it's probably easier to say that, but I recommend that. Build your own house. You're buying equity instantly. That's again, talk to me if you guys need any help. And then we're actually building a Salvador beach house now, which is again crazy. We're supposed to have it in June, so that's like the rendering, and that's kind of where it's at. We just went a couple months ago, and let me see if this video will play, just to kind of show you guys. So it's like scary because it's right here, and then that's the beach. So it's like really close, and I've thought about it. I'm like, I hope we're not too close, But anyways, we're excited. It's supposed to be in June, but I just wanted to show you those things to show you, like, truly, guys, like if I could do this, anybody can. What's funny is, I came from El Salvador running from poverty so I could save money here to go back to El Salvador on vacation. Like, what the hell? But yeah, so I come from negative 100, El Salvador, extreme poverty, no running water, no electricity, legit. Like, that's just how it was. Never met my father, so a single mom. It was just me and my sister and I. My mom actually left my sister and I with my grandma when I was 6 years old. And then 3 years later, she came back, and we ended up going with her, my sister and I. That was kind of like, that was her plan. And of course, then I get here, and, I'll talk a little bit more about it, but even though it was like full of poverty, and, it wasn't much, but to me it was huge, because I'm like, man, we got electricity, right? Like, we got running water, and don't take those things for granted, guys. So we get so caught up in our business sometimes that we forget all the little things that matter in life. And then, of course, as I grew a little bit. We ended up coming to Nebraska, and believe it or not, I think poverty will bring violence. Poverty will bring drugs, right? Like everything else. So obviously there is all that here in Nebraska. I started hanging out with a lot of great people, but also a lot of people that I shouldn't have been hanging out with. I didn't have a dad to tell me otherwise. Section 8, so I went through all that. So again, today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to live your American dream. That's actually my grandma, my sister, and I in El Salvador. But the first law, guys, that I want to talk to you guys about is think big. And Proverbs 4:2 says, let God renew your mind, because your life is shaped by your thoughts. And again, when I was in El Salvador as a poor kid, that's all I had was thoughts. There was nothing else, right? And I clearly remember playing on the dirt with whatever made up toys and just thinking, I live in a mansion, right? I live in a nice house. So that's all I had. And we're going to get into it a little bit deeper here. We forget that thinking is free sometimes, right? It is free. Nobody's telling you, paying you or whatever. Like, you can control your mind. And we are what we think about all day long, so why not think big, right? And I want you guys to start asking yourself those questions. And that's what I said earlier about how even when you get around groups like this, right? We're talking about real estate. We're essentially, I'm not reinventing the wheel. Like, this is stuff that you guys have probably heard about before, but that's what we're here to do, is to exercise that mindset. So get around those groups, right? Like my mastermind group, this group is so awesome. I hope that Ted goes to Lincoln soon. And if you need help, man, let me know. I'm in. So, you're going to show up regardless, guys. So show up thinking big. Again, nobody's holding a gun to your head telling you, no, think small. Like, that's all we're going to do. You're limited by your biggest thought. And it just reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have heard this story before, but, there's the elephants in the circus, right? Like, when they're little, they get trained with a little stake. And maybe that stake does hold them, maybe. But as they get older, that stake still, in their mind, that stake's still holding them, but they don't know how big they are. And that's you guys, right? Like, you guys have this big mindset. We just need to open it up and let it be. And if the elephant only knew that he could pull that stake and probably the whole circus with it. And that's what that's what we need to do, right? And the thing, guys, is that it takes the same effort to think small than to think big. And I'm going to tell you guys right now that we're human. We're the hardest person on ourselves, and I'll get into that a little bit more. So we have to get rid of that. Like, we have to be our biggest fan, because we are all we got. Yes, we have supported spouses, but with that mindset, we can't show up for them, right? We have kids, but without that mindset, we can't show up for them. So it's essentially important, but you have to make sure that your mindset grows and you take care of that mindset. If your goals don't scare you, you're not thinking big enough. That's just the way it is. And I've always had those big goals, right? Like, I always tried thinking big, and it's not easy. Again, it's an exercise. Like, I don't wake up every day and I'm like, oh yeah. Like, you have to exercise your mindset every single day. And big goals, small minds, we'll talk a little bit about it later. There's another law that I'll talk to you guys about that. It's very important. Like, I always had those big goals, but I had a lot of small minds behind me at that time, or around me at that time. It's very important. Again, get around people like this group, right, that are trying to become better. I'm trying to become better, and not even just financially, guys. The thing is that money will follow. That's the thing. When you do better, when you become better, money comes in one way or another. It's like God rewarding you, honestly. It truly comes down to that. So think big to get out of your comfort zone. Again, The Power of Being Uncomfortable is a book that I wrote, and there's no way that you could get out of that comfort zone if you're not thinking big. And think like a millionaire, hustle like you're broke. That's a slogan that I have for the $1 Million Hustle podcast that I have. It's pretty cool. I've actually interviewed some pretty cool names. Brendan Turner was on there, and just among other cool people. Like, just check it out, $1 Million Hustle. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, all that. Again, I'm compacting into a book. So, like, again, if you have a cool story, hit me up, because I want to just get as many mindsets as I can in this book and put it together. So most people think survival. You have to think ownership. So have a vision, have those big goals, right? Even there's people in here that have more money than me. There's people that have less money than me, but we are still the same in the fact that we always think survival. Am I crazy for that? There's times where we think survival, right? We're like, oh, is our business running smoothly, right? Like, are we gonna make the cut to pay our people the next couple weeks, right? Like, but we forget how blessed we are by doing that. We trick ourselves. And so again, don't forget to go back and remember where you came from, right? Like, unless you were born with money, then that's a whole different story. But, and then how big would you think if you knew you couldn't fail? That's one of my favorite questions. How big would you think if you knew you couldn't fail? It is sad at the same time when you think about it. And again, we all forget this. Like, these are stuff that I try my best to practice in my life, but there's times where I have to remind myself. So we have to exercise our mindset, right? And then the next one is confidence. And Hebrews 10:35 says, do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. And so as a kid, learning English was tough for me, right? But I had the confidence. I had to get out of my own way to learn English. I would mispronounce words. People would make fun of me, but I knew the end goal was to have that language under my belt. Anyone, whoever gave you confidence, you owe them a lot. So, again, going back to what I was telling you, I used to hang out with a lot of small minds sometimes where they would just make fun of me, right? Like, oh, I want to have this big house, or I'm going to do music, right? And they would just laugh at me. Well, I always go back and think, what if I would have had more support back then? I would definitely be further. And so again, very important, make sure that you get around people that support your dreams and you support theirs. That's what this is all about. What others think of you is none of your business. When you start to really drill that in, confidence comes out. Because at the end of the day, at that point, you don't give a shit. Like you really don't. And that's really how you should follow everything that you do, your personal and your business. Because at the end of the day, guys, nobody's coming to save you by yourself. Your business, anything, people are, you might get some support here and there, right? But at the end of the day, it is you in your own head. It is your confidence that's going to take you to that, get you out of that hole that you're in, or whatever it is, right? So you have to let those people go. And I always think when I quit my job, I asked 6 people, right? Like, what do you think, man? Should I quit this job? I have these rentals, right? I have this music thing going. I have this, I have that. And I asked, let's say the 6 people, right? 3 told me, yeah, you should. And 3 told me no. But I forgot to ask the most important person, which was myself. We do that all the time. We do that all the time. And from now on, I want you guys to truly practice that, because I want you guys to put yourself in this scenario. You're asking maybe somebody for advice or whatever, but there's an 80%, 70% chance that you know the answer already. You're just asking for them to hopefully tell you, yeah, go with B, because that's what you said, right? You know the answers already is what I'm saying. So and honestly, you don't even have to dig deep. Like a lot of times when there's something that you need to do, A or B, you already know. So start practicing that a little more, because we have the answers. Always ask the most important person in the world, which is yourself. And again, is it selfish? Whatever you want to call it, yes, it is, because you have to show up for everybody else. And if you're not selfish with yourself, you're not going to show up as your best self. And that is selfish for your wife, for your kids, for people around you. So I truly want you guys to think about that. If you want to make the wrong decision, ask everybody else. Simple, right? So one thing that, especially with my little one, the 2-year-old now, if she shows me a drawing, I try to ask her, instead of saying, oh, good job, right? And we got to encourage her, right? And tell her, yeah, good job. But also, I'm practicing to ask her, how do you feel about it? What do you think about this drawing? And it is that deep. It is that deep to ask these kids these questions, because then, guess what? They think internally and not look for that external approval, the things that we just talked about. So I'm trying to do that with my daughter starting now. And so research shows that self-confidence is associated with a greater sense of control over what happens to us, which promotes our ability to take on challenges. So that is the law of confidence. Cool if I continue? We're doing good? Everybody awake? All right. I don't want to bore you guys. So the next one is patience. Romans 8:25. If we look forward to something we don't know yet, we have to wait patiently and confidently, right? And I wanted the American dream decades ago. So like I gave you guys quick little stories as a kid playing, right? Like as a teen, as an adult, like I knew that I wanted that, but honestly, patience was hard, right? Because you look to your left, poverty, right, poverty. I did it the opposite. But it's poverty all over. So it's really hard to believe in something that's not there. But again, remember the first law, you have to think big, and you have to trick your mindset, right, to think big. So that is all I had at that point. And so I started small, but I had to think big, right? And most people get in trouble for trying to go too big, too fast. And I see that in real estate a lot. And that's the ego. And ego, since it's Cinco de Mayo, ego is not your amigo, all right? I'm going to tell you guys that right now. You have to be able to control it. And, you know, the thing, guys, is especially in your business and in real estate, how much is enough, right? Like, why do you do what you do? Because at the end of the day, all I know is I want to be happy. I want to be able to provide for my kids. I want to be able to show up to their soccer games, to their practices, whatever it is that they have going on. I want to be able to be there. And sometimes I have to remind myself, based on this law, that it's like, hey, like, dude, you already have this many doors. You already, like, it is okay. Now, it doesn't mean for you to get comfortable. I'm not telling you, hey, you know what, just stop buying and just stop. No, it just means that you're working on your happiness. And again, as you grow, then you breed more happiness anyways, right? So I don't know if you guys have heard that saying, happiness progress breeds happiness, right? And so that's why I'm not telling you guys, hey, go in this little cave here and just don't do that. No, that's not what I'm saying. But also don't forget why you started investing, why you started this business. Because we do forget that, right? We try to, I'm going to take this business here, or, I'm going to do that. And it's like we forget the little moments why we started this business. So that's what that means there. And so then you get into ego versus experience. Experiences comes from doing it over. And that's why I love what you said earlier, having extra miles. I mean, it is really true. I met so many people that talk from ego, right? Oh, I've like at that point, just lies, right? I've done this many flips, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to read 100 books this year, right? And like one thing we practiced in my group sometime last year was, what if we just read one book this year? And we really practiced that book. We really put it, and a lot of our lives changed during that time when we did that 1 or 2 books that we did. Like it. Again, you have to know that we're gaining experience by doing that. We're not just this, oh, I'm going to buy 2,000 units this year, right? Like whatever that crazy goal is. And again, think big, right? Like we have to think big, but also we have to get that experience. And the way that you do that is by truly putting in the work. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. As you can see, and I showed you those pictures on purpose earlier, I started with the house, bought more houses, gave me more confidence, right? Gave me more understanding in the investing. Then I bought a duplex, 4plex, 9plex, etc., right? And you hear a lot of gurus telling you, oh, you need to buy a 1,000 unit apartment. I guarantee you, and I've seen this before, and I've seen it a few times, sadly. They do that, and maybe not 1,000, but something bigger and guess what? They end up losing it. Even if it's a 3plex or a triplex or a 4plex or 6plex at the beginning, and nothing too crazy even, but that's still more than what they shoot. I would recommend buying a duplex. That's a great start. And you're actually, if that's all you ever do, you're doing way better than 90% of the people out there, sadly. Again, don't forget that. Like we're in the greatest nation on earth, right? Like there's countries out there that will tell you, hey, you could only own 2 houses, We're in the United States of America where we could buy as many houses as we can and as we want to. So, but again, have that snail mentality where we start building it slowly, because what are you doing at that point is you're building a solid foundation by getting that proper education, the learning. And I've seen that pattern in me over and over, and that's why I'm sharing it with you guys, and I hope that it helps you guys. I started with my Civic. When I was 18 years old, I went and bought a brand new Civic, and sometimes I'm like, was it good, bad, whatever. But I told myself when I bought that Civic, I'm like, I need a car that's gonna make me a millionaire. And I like truly told me that. So guess what? That Civic, I took it to Denver, all these different states to do shows, go sell CDs. Also, when I started my construction company, I actually took roofing material in the Civic. Like it's crazy to look back. I was literally that guy that had a gutter metal hanging out the window to a job site. But you have to do what you got to do, right? And then This was way later. I bought myself a 3-seater. At that point, I was doing it, right? Like nobody could tell me nothing. Like me and my daughters would ride in that truck, and I'm like, man, I'm doing this. Like I could carry materials now in peas, right? For whether it was for my construction company, my rentals. And then, of course, then you start graduating is what I call it, right? And that's the snail mentality. That Civic made me money to get that Mazda. That Mazda made me money to buy that Silverado 15. And now I drive a brand new 2500 HD for the construction stuff, for my rental stuff. So it is extremely important to start small. And I promise you guys that you can only go up from there. And then now you're practicing frugality too, which is essentially very important. Very important at the very beginning of your career. Is very important to be frugal. And then, of course, the thing, guys, is that if you do that time, is what I call it, and it sounds bad. It sounds like you're doing prison or something, but that's not what I mean. If you do that time, I promise you that you're not even going to think about it later. And that's the snail mentality, that patience, right? Like working in itself. So, patience, right? Like I've seen this in music. I have 13 albums right now that I've released, and I got like 5 coming, so stay tuned. No. But I've seen people where maybe they're putting together their first album, but they think they're already up here, right? Like they're not being patient. They want this career that you have to gain that experience to get to, right? And that's what that snail mentality is. Again, I've seen it in music. And I had to edit that because now I got 13 instead of 10. Decades as an entrepreneur, when they're in year 1, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with that, where people are, like that's why I put act your wage, because there's people that are in their first 6 months and they already know more than your 3 decades that you have in real estate and business. Have you guys ever dealt with that? Then get away from those people, all right? Get away from those people, because that's not how it works. We have to gain the experience. All that is just ego. And when you know where you're going, you stay focused and it's easier to keep going, right? So, for example, I'm going to buy more apartment buildings. And I'm telling you that with confidence, right? Remember that law earlier? I'm telling you that with confidence. So what does that do? I'm getting deals for multifamily units. Like last year, we bought like 20 doors or something, and again, it's not, to me, it's massive, just so you guys know. Like buying 20 doors last year for my rental portfolio was massive. And that comes from knowing that it's going to come. Like I wasn't out there saying, oh, this year I'm going to buy 100 units, right? I'm going to buy 50 units. No, I just know that's what I do. The deal's going to come at the right time. If you rush things, and I can give you a lot of stories behind this too. If you rush things, you're going against God. And I can tell you who's going to win in that race. But if you do the opposite, where you start working from having that patience, you know where you're going, you have your goals, you're thinking big, things start coming to you. Has that ever happened where you're flowing like that? You're flowing and you're like, oh, wow. So-and-so just sent me this deal. Oh man, it works. Yeah, let's buy it. You know what? I'm gonna 1031 this. Like everything just works smoothly because you're vibrating in that energy, right? Like you're vibrating good. Everything's flowing. That's where you need to be. But I've seen people that will go buy that first deal and they just do it because of that ego, or no, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna make it a deal. It doesn't end up well a lot of times. So just be patient. Things will come. One thing I'm going to tell you, like, I want a green Lambo, and I'm going to buy that green Lambo. I'm going to tell you that right now, that I'm going to, maybe next time I can tell you guys about it, right? Like when I pull up to this meeting. But until then, I know that I have to do follow those laws that I'm talking about, right? And as long as I keep doing that, guess what, guys? It gets easier too. The bigger you get in your business and like you start working from this side of things, then I know that green Lambo is gonna come to me like randomly. Maybe tonight somebody has one like that's gonna sell it to me or something. But guess what? It's gonna work better. I could have bought it 3 years ago. I probably could have bought it 5 years ago, but it's at the right time. And it's not just at the right time, it's in God's time. And when it's in God's time, it's going to be way better than I could even picture it. Okay. I have like a little, in my studio where I do my podcast and my music, I have have you seen those Lego Lambos? I have it just sitting there, and I'm like, yep, I'm gonna have you next to my Lambo someday, someday sooner or later. And I know it's coming, but I'm patient. And that's the whole point of this. I'm being patient. I'm practicing that because I know it will come, right? Just like the beach house that I showed you, man, that beach house, I wouldn't say 10 years ago I started writing, or 7 years ago I started putting it on paper that I wanted that beach house. And it took that long, and it worked out better than I showed you the video. That's why I showed it to you, because I wanted a beach house, not like, 2 streets down or something. No, I wanted to wake up and see the beach. And that's what that is, right? Why? Because I was patient. I was very patient. So, and then one trick that I'm going to give you guys is don't forget that long-term thinking, right? Like me telling you that beach house, I wanted it. I knew at that point I was already practicing this law. So I knew that I was going to get it. It was just a matter of when and at the right time and in God's time, right? Like I said earlier. So what helps is the long-term thinking. So from 5 years from now, sometimes, and I have that question there too, because sometimes we get caught up in the little things that we're going through in our business. And is that really going to matter at this point, right? Sometimes it's funny. This is real life story from like 2 weeks ago. My painter asked me like, hey, do you want me to paint the trim and the walls one color? And I was like, man, I want that white, right? Like I want the white trim, that's what blah, blah, blah. And then it hit me, and I remember this. I'm like, is that trim really going to matter 5 years from now? No, it's not. Let's get this thing painted, and so we can rent it and move on to the bigger stuff, right? And we get caught up in those decisions sometimes. So 5 years from now, is this going to matter? Whatever it is that you're going to. And then the opposite, right? What are your goals 5 years from now? And when, again, you start flowing from those, then those units come. That business goal that you have will come, I promise you. And it's the journey, not the destination. Do you guys agree? Yeah. Bullshit. Here's the thing. We have to have destinations, is what I mean by that, right? Like when we have goals remember I told you earlier, my destination was to buy that beach house. So again, we're not going to get in the comfort zone either and just be like, oh, no, we're going to work towards it, right? Just like you took action earlier. We're taking these actions. We're practicing these laws that I'm going over today, that if you practice them, again, all these things do come about. I just know it's God. Like that's the only answer I can give you, is that God is real. And if you practice these 7 laws, you're going to get to where you're heading. But you got to have destinations. You truly do. So you got to have that goal where you're like, okay, I'm going to have this, whatever it is, right? X number, and then work backwards and practice the things that I'm going over. And then you're going to get to that destination. Otherwise, we're not measuring anything, right? So that's what I mean by that. And the thing, guys, is that we climb one mountain and then we get to the next one. So that's why I said earlier, be happy, because at the end of the day, we're going to die climbing these mountains. At the end of the day, that's we're all heading there. I don't know if you knew that or not. Did everybody know that we're dying? We're all dying? Okay, I just want to make sure, because sometimes we forget that. So one of my favorite ways that I see things, and that's why I said earlier, yes, I do some flips here and there. If you want to get rich, flip. If you want to get wealthy, keep them long term. And so again, we're talking about generational curses to generational wealth. Well, I'm keeping these things, right? And not all of them, right? That's where you can look through and see, okay, is this deal going to be a flip, or is it going to get me wealthy long term? Is it going to be some? I always legit think, are my daughters going to be able to manage this pretty good? Okay, yes. All right, let's buy it, keep it for that. No, okay, let's flip it, right? So again, I do some flipping. I encourage it. Like those of you who are maybe just starting out, it's a great way for you guys to make some extra cash that you can buy something to keep and build wealth. All right, the next one, commitment. We're almost done, guys. I know I'm maybe boring you. Proverbs 16:3, commit to the Lord in whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. if you haven't gotten my message yet, just read that. That's essentially what I've been telling you guys. So I truly believe that how you do anything is how you do everything. So you have to commit. So you guys being here, that's commitment, right? To yourself. Again, to yourself, so you can show up better for your wife, your husband, your kids, right? So, and then I'm also going to tell you guys that no matter what level you're in right now financially, whatever that next idea is, if you're not going to do it for at least 5 years, don't even start. And it's harsh, but it's the reality. Again, you got to have that patience. It's not going to happen overnight. But on the other side, if you put God first, right, and you're willing to do the action that it takes, right, to think big and have those goals written, well, guess what? I promise you that 5 years from now, something's going to pop for you based on whatever it is that you're chasing. Whatever dream you have, something's going to come out of it by you doing that. So, oops, I pushed too far. So I'm here to tell you guys, commit to everything. And if you guys are just boyfriend, girlfriend, you're going to hate me right now, but get married. Nobody? All right. I thought there's usually somebody that will be like, oh man, see, I told you, right? So good. All of you guys are committed. So that's awesome. Well, if you have that significant other, don't just go and marry somebody randomly tonight or something. And so your children, guys, commit to your children, right? Remember I told you guys earlier, show up to their games, show up for them. That's all. I promise you that they're not going to remember a lot of the money stuff, but they're going to remember showing up. My daughter's quinceañera's coming up, and we had a church class, and one of the questions that they asked on this questionnaire was, what's your favorite something with family? And it was vacations. And that just sealed the deal for me, right? Like I knew that we've been doing something right by her answer. So commit to your vision, guys, to your goals, right? Commit to your business, your investments. Commit, guys, like that. It's huge. Commit to everything that you do. Even if, again, I know there's different levels here, but maybe you're just starting out and you just have a job, commit to it, right? Like when I used to work at Burger King, Taco Bell, I was the best at that time there, right? Like I was trying to be the best with whatever I had, because if you commit like that, everything else will come. So commit. And the next one, hustle. Proverbs 14:23, all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads to only poverty. And I have like a love and hate with this word, because what I'm telling you guys right now, like I want you guys to focus on is that happiness. And sometimes we get so caught up, right, in our everyday. But don't forget why you started investing, why you started that business, was to have free time. I guarantee you that if I asked you right now, and I'm telling you that by my podcast too, freedom is the number one goal for everybody. But sometimes we get caught up in our business that we forget that's why we started this business. And now we work more hours. You should have just stayed at the job that you had, right? Because maybe you would show up for your kids at that time. So super important. And I'll get to a little bit more. So work ethic. You guys have seen how hard some immigrants work, right? Like I'm an immigrant. I worked my ass off. I can tell you that right now. And even as a 10-year-old, when I lived in California, I worked at a food truck, and all they paid me was like $50 and then like a gallon of milk, or hey, grab whatever from this food truck. But I was happy as hell. I was hustling, right? I was working at that time already. And there's no secret to success. Again, I'm not here to tell you, oh, if you do this, right? Like, no, there's no secret but to work your ass off. Work your ass off, do what you do, knowing why you're building what you're building, right? So I'm at a stage now where I rather pay somebody to do something for me. But it didn't come overnight. I had to hustle to get there. And so, again, I know there's different levels here. If you're at that level where you can start paying off some of these things, make sure you do. I can tell you that I rather pay somebody to go do something like paint, for example, that's the first thing that I could think of, than for me to be painting and not be at my daughter's soccer game, right? So pay, just start putting things off as you need to, depending on what level you're off. And then If you're just starting, then hustle your ass off. That's sweat equity. That if it hasn't ranked to you, sweat, like you have to you have to put some sweat in there to gain some equity. That's what that means, and that is totally okay. That's where everybody starts. The crazy thing, guys, and those of you who are at different levels can tell you that then you know when it's time to do that next thing, right? You know when it's time to hire somebody. Like I remember my wife telling her, how long has it been? Like 6 years now that she quit her job. And I remember saying, you have to quit. Like you have no, like I need you. I need you in this business now. Like we have something going here. And we knew that, right? As to if you would have asked me maybe even 6 months ago before that time, or even a year or whatever, we weren't ready. You just know you're not ready. So, and again, remember earlier that law that I talked to you guys about, knowing like you know the answers. That is this making full circle now? Like you know those answers. You know when it is time. One of my crews, I was talking to them. They're a new crew that I've been doing stuff with in my construction and my real estate investing, and they asked me something like, oh, so are the other guys, you think that they're mad that I'm doing this? I'm like, dude, no. If you weren't here, we wouldn't have done this last month, because now we've been working a couple months together. We wouldn't have done all these things that you've done. There was no way. I just knew. And again, it's going back to what I just said, right? Like I knew it was time to hire that next crew for that next thing, right? So again, you have the answers. You know more than you know. So, Kobe was the first one to show up to practice and the last one to leave. I'm sure you guys have heard that before. And that just stays with me. Like if you want to be great, you have to do great things, right? And we're going to get to that. There's a line that I have here. So hard work beats talent every time. And whether it's investing in business, in music, I can tell you, I met so many talented, like people that can sing, that can like, I guarantee you they would have a Grammy if they hustled, if they put that work in. But they want somebody to do it for them, right? And that's not how it works. You have to hustle. You have to, because at the end of the day, yeah, that talent is cool, but I'm not the best rapper, but I show up. So I'm going to beat you in that sense, for sure. Every single time I'm going to show up, I'm going to commit, I'm going to be there. So I'm going to beat you. If you're not putting in the work, then I'm going to beat you regardless. So work ethic is a choice. Sometimes we forget that. And you can't choose to have your looks, your fingerprints, your intelligence, grandparents, private school, but you can choose work ethic. That's one thing I knew. I knew that I could choose that work ethic, right? I didn't have the money. My mom, I didn't even, my daughter's graduating. She has like 6 photo shoots for her for her high school graduation. You know how many I had? 0. But that's what we want, right? Like that's why we're doing what we're doing, right? So, but even though I didn't have all that, I had the work ethic and I showed up every time. So sometimes we ask ourselves, why me, right? Like, why did this thing happen? But let's start changing that to, why not me? I'm built for this, right? Can everybody say that? Why not me? I'm built for this. There you go. Why not me? I'm built for this. I don't know if you guys knew or not. Who invests in real estate in here? Who runs a business? Okay. I don't know if you guys knew or not, but when you do those things, there's problems. It's funny, as a hard money lender, or just in any side, you know, as a flipper, whatever. Oh man, this thing came up. Now I'm gonna spend another $5,000, and I'm just like, why are you sad about it? You bought problems. Like sometimes we forget how obvious this thing is. So let's work from that side of things, right? Let's know that things will happen, but we prayed for that. Did we forget that? We used to pray for those things. So let's not take them for granted. If I'm willing to do the things other people won't do, I'll have the other things that people won't have. I knew it. I used to work weekends. There's times where holidays, barbecues. And guys, just so you know, even like there's times on Saturdays, like I still leave my house for a couple hours, go check on stuff, ride around, do something. honestly, it doesn't matter what day it is, because we built a life where we don't need a vacation from. So when I go out and do these things, like I truly love it. Like to me, again, remember, I'm a creator. So when I see the apartment, the way it's coming up, or this flip or whatever, like I love that. So it doesn't feel like I'm working. But again, it started from working your ass off, right? You can't just get there. Don't forget that. And then greatness only comes before hustle in the dictionary. That's the only time. So make sure you guys hustle for that capital to invest, right? Invest your money, make it work for you, and then you can get out of that. Remember I said earlier, like, I love and hate this word, and it's funny, like my podcast is called $1 Million Hustle. It's to get people's attention, but really what I'm trying to learn is, how do you get there, right? And I've interviewed multimillionaires, not just people that are millionaires or heading there. Like, no, I've gotten some multimillionaires close to billionaires in that podcast, so check it out. But it's funny because it's just that word, I love it and hate it, because you have to learn to love it at the beginning, and then again, because it's gonna take you to that freedom, that American dream, right? So, all right, and this says, be thankful in everything, in all circumstances. And again, I said that earlier, that sometimes we forget that. This is a study that was done, and look into it. 2 psychologists took 3 groups for 10 weeks. And group 1, they had them write things that they were grateful for. Group 2, daily irritations. And you can see where this is going. And then the third group wrote events that had affected them. After 10 weeks, the gratitude group was more optimistic, felt better, exercised more, and even had a few less doctor visits than the other 2 groups. So if that case study doesn't tell you anything, then I don't know what will, because we have to be grateful. When I came to America, even though I was living in the hood, we had carpet. I told you guys that earlier. We had carpet, we had a microwave, we had water. I was living the dream then, right? And you have to be happy, is what I'm saying. I can tell you right now what's crazy, and I'm gonna just lay it out flat. Like right now we have 2 flips that are pending, and one of them, I remember like the next day, I woke up and I like slapped myself. I'm like, what the hell are you mad about waking up like this right now? You have this going, your daughter's graduate, like we have this coming. So again, remember I said it's a muscle. You have to practice that, right? So and what I'm saying is, now that we have a little more money, we still go through that. We're human. But again, that's where you have to practice that muscle. You have to get around people, join these groups, and I promise you that you're going to exercise that. Like, again, most of these things, I'm sure you've heard it in a book, podcast, but it's truly things that I've gone through that I practice. And again, practice is the key. I'm not telling you, man, I do this, right? Like I really do it. No, I practice these things. And that's what I want you guys to leave with today, is that you're going to practice these things. And then guess what? Because it's like when you go to the gym, if those of you who go to the gym, like you can't just be like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym for a year, I'm going to go hard, and then I'm done for the rest of my life, right? Yeah, you will be done for the rest of your life if you do that. And it's the same thing with your mindset, right? You have to exercise your mindset. There's a lot of quotes or things or groups or things that you could do to keep your mindset going. It's crucial. Otherwise, it leads you to depression, guys, really. So people that have no goals, nothing going on in their life, those are the people that are mostly depressed, unfortunately. So we have to make sure that we have these goals. We have to make sure that we stay busy chasing something that's bigger than us, right? So, one story that I want to share with you guys, construction workers are happy. And I don't know about you guys, but who has done some construction in here? Okay, so I like it, love it. Hustle, I like it. So you know that shit's hard, right? Like it's not easy, it's hard. And it reminds me of one of my crews had this guy that had one arm. And at first I was like, right? Like that quick thought ran through me. But then this dude was whistling, getting shit done, like hustling, working hard. And it just reminded me, right, to be grateful. I'm like, dude, like we're over here crying about this flip didn't make enough or whatever. Like, no, we have to be grateful and remember all those little things. This dude, all he's doing is working to provide for his family, but he's happy. Remember what I've been telling you this over and over. Look for happiness. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Be thankful for the little things that we take for granted. I gave you guys some example of that. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you have more to be grateful for. And truly, something that I practice too. Change, I have to I get to. Sometimes we get caught up in that, right? Like, oh, I have to take my daughter to practice. I have to send this email. I have to put this offer in. No, you get to. You get to go to your office. You get to run your business. It didn't just come about, right? Like you get to do these things. And that's where you start switching it to more gratitude. So you don't have to do a damn thing. You get to do all these things. An exercise that I love that I want all of you guys to do real quick is text somebody right now and tell them thanks for being in your life, that you appreciate them. And do that real quick, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, quick text just saying, hey, I appreciate you. Whether it's your significant other, whoever, right? Like somebody that you're close to, just send that text real quick. And then guess what, guys? You feel even better than they probably will. That's what's crazy. But no, they're going to feel really good. So go ahead and send that text real quick. All right. And this is the last one, guys, and I'll get out of here. So Corinthians 15:33, bad company ruins good morals. Have you guys ever seen those videos where there's like two fruits, one that's super bad, and then they put it next to a really good one, and then it's contagious? That's how it works, right? So research found that people you associate with will determine 95% of your success or failure. So if that doesn't tell you that you need to start choosing better, if you're not there yet, get around good people. Again, get in these groups. Keep showing up with Ted. Ted has an amazing group. Again, I give it up to this guy because it's not, just so you guys know, it's just not easy to do entertainment and to keep the lights on. Like it's not easy, but when you truly love it, you just keep going and you have great people behind Ted like you guys. So I just want to say thanks to the whole thing because it's not easy. But that's what keeps you successful, right? Getting around these people. Otherwise, it works the opposite too. So again, remember that research there. And you've heard that before, average of 5 you spend time with. And it reminds you of the fleas in the jar. Some of you guys have probably heard that before, where when they put all these fleas in a jar, they put a cap on it, and they only jumped up to that cap, right? And guess what? It went through with a few generations of fleas. So they passed it down to whatever, right? So the kids will call it, I don't know, whatever. But when they opened that lid, that's how high they could jump, because that's all they knew. And so we have to get out of that and get in these other groups, right? Get in these, keep showing up, stay committed to the stuff that you're doing. Energies are real. You can feel it. Like, remember I told you earlier that you know the answers to things. And again, I'm laughing because I deal with that. Again, I'm practicing these things, right? I'm trying to get better because I know what is done when I practice them. So you know when somebody's probably not good for your company, probably not good for your investing, probably not good to be around just mindset-wise. There's people that I'm just like, how does your wife or husband, like whatever, right? Like, and then I find out they're not married. I'm like, well, that was fine. All right. Get away from the people pile is what I call it. The people pile, get away from it. You have to start asking yourself, do you want to be average or a top performer? Sadly, 97% of the people are not what we're on. And what we're on is trying to be better, educating ourselves, right? There's people that probably laughed at you for coming to this event, right? Like that. Those are the people you have to get away from. And I gave you guys that example earlier, right? Like with the friends that I used to hang out with, laughing at my goals. One of my chapters, the first chapter on the power of being uncomfortable is titled that. If they shit, they will laugh at you. Meaning that everybody has an opinion, right? Everybody will give you that opinion. So why not do things that make you happy? So again, I have some copies that Ted and I are giving away at the end. I'm going to be back there. I'll autograph them. So, and then otherwise, once those run out, I have other copies too. So check out that chapter. And then this right here is pretty deep when you start thinking about it. When Tom Brady was playing football, I guarantee you that none of us could be in that locker room with him before that big game. Why? Because we were too negative for him. He knows this law, right? Like and so the greats know how important it is who's in their locker room, right? So we have to start thinking like that, because I guarantee you that probably most of us in this room, he wouldn't allow us to get in because we probably a little too negative for him, because he knows that, and that's why he created what he created, right? Because he was around the right people, the coaches. Sometimes we forget all these coaches that the greats have had. Tom Brady, and then I talked about Kobe earlier. So make sure that you get a coach too. It's super important to have a coach, because again, we have that third eye. We can see what you're not seeing. Again, I'm speaking by experience on both ends. So be like chameleons. They adapt to colors. So when you get around good people, you start acting like that, right? So if you're always the bigger person, maybe you shouldn't be around so many little people. Are you guys good with that? Like, what do you guys think of that? So I'm going to just kind of wrap everything up. So this was 2021. It was the same hut that I grew up in, but now there was actually plumbing there. It was super cool. And it was still in that little ranch farm area, right? But there was actually plumbing and everything. My grandma was super sick, but when we saw her a few months later, she actually passed away. But you know, it's crazy. Again, God's timing, what I talked about earlier, like we showed up and I want to say like a month later, a couple months later, she was gone. So to me, it was like, man, like it's crazy that she waited for us, right? Like she saw my daughters and my wife. And this was that same trip. What's sad, guys, is, and I'm telling you these stories just so you guys don't take things for granted in this beautiful nation. So this is 2021. So this is 10 years, 11 years later that I went back to my, to where I'm from. And this is how I saw half of the people that I grew up with in the cemetery. And I just wanted to share that because, again, we get caught up sometimes, right? And that, I said that earlier, and I truly mean it. Like, we're all gonna die, and we have to start working from that. We have to wake up with gratitude and live those 7 laws that I just went over. So, but I think that is pretty much all I got. Any questions? I hope you guys like my presentation. And that's a question that I want to have you guys to go along with it. Is today one day or day one? And again, leave your email. Again, anything real estate related, business related, from coaching, books, music, whatever you need, I got it. Any questions?
Yep. Hey, the first question I have is, you hear so much negative feedback about the economy, things that are going on right now in the world, but yet you're saying you're buying 20 houses, you're building your business up. Do you contribute that to your knowledge or
my mindset?
Okay, and so how's your mindset changed, and how have you pivoted during the the economy and all the stuff that's been going on in the last 2 years, and with rates and whatnot?
Yeah, I just keep buying, and it goes back to my mindset. Like, it truly does, guys. When you start thinking and working from those, like, and I'm not telling you ignore the economy, right? Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But to a certain extent, you have to turn off the news. And I have to tell you that. You have to turn off the news, that negative feed that you're getting on Facebook, because I'm going to tell you right now, the last 2 years is probably the most money I've made. And it's in the worst economy, or, bad economy, whatever it is that the noise is telling me. I just blow it off, and I just know if a deal works, a deal works. And here's the thing too. don't forget, guys, like let's say hell breaks loose and you lose everything right now, you lose your business, your investments. I can promise you that you guys are going to get it back. That's the thing that bothers me is you're not working on your happiness at that point, right? Happiness means just turn off the news and do you, and I promise you that things will work out. And that's how I work. Like I truly see it as like, man, if I lose everything, like I know I can make it back and more. So.
Okay, first and foremost, glory be to God.
Amen.
Your introduction and your presentation was dope.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Man, almost didn't come today, this evening, because my wife was rear-ended this morning. And she came out with not one scratch.
Wow. Round of applause to that, guys.
My question is, who are your top 2 or 3 favorite rappers? And the second part of that, who are your top 2 or 3 real estate or entrepreneurs that you respect, you can point to and say, I will listen to what that guy has to say, or gal?
Yeah. I love that question. Both worlds. Eminem, I have to go with Eminem. I have to. He's my favorite. Like, you got to understand that those were the years where like I could barely understand some English, but I just felt them, right? I just knew, I'm like, man, whatever he's saying. And then he was talking about his mom and all that. I didn't know that, but I'm just like, no. But Eminem's dope. Then, there's that Biggie Tupac. Like, I think that's number 2. I'll put both of them in there. And then Jay-Z, man. Like, Jay-Z's flow. And there's different Jay-Z's, right? Like, he's evolved. I want to say like that 2000s Jay-Z. So that's yep. But and then as far as entrepreneurs, investors, definitely Robert Kiyosaki has been somebody that I've studied like from the beginning. I think now he's getting too much into the news side of things lately, but and then the Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. That even though I've never met him, right, but he's just I'll call it a mentor because of all the things that I've learned from his books and everything. And guys, like, don't forget that there's books out there. And matter of fact, nowadays, like, you have YouTube, like all these different ways that you can get this information. So if you're not getting it, you're not committed enough, right? So let's commit to it because I hear that a lot. Well, I ain't got time to read or this or that. But remember what I said earlier, it's not about how many books you can read this year. It's what if you read the one? Just read Power of Being Uncomfortable. And I guarantee you there's going to be a couple things in there that if you truly do those, it's going to be life-changing. But it doesn't mean that you're going to read 50 books or no, just practice the little things. And again, that snail mentality. So hopefully that helps, man. I appreciate you and God bless. Thank you.
Piggybacking off of that, if you're going to read a good book, Proverbs is probably the best book for everyone to read in this room.
Yes.
But I have a few questions. I was a former teacher, quit 3 years ago, head basketball coach. One, thank you for your message. My business was started on Jesus alone. Connect the Dots Consulting. It was, Lord, lead me. Where do you want me to go? And me, similar to you, I was not planning on coming today, but I did. So thank you so much for that.
Love it.
Am I good?
Yeah, no, I said there's so many slackers.
Well, Jesus-centered.
What kind of group are you running to?
No, it's just really cool. So,
no, I love it.
But I do have 3 questions because, like, your mission, vision, values, like every morning, wake up. Where do you want me to go, God? So the vision is so important, and so I just really resonated. But 3 questions. A solid team. As you're growing a business, how do you trust the right attorney, the right accountant? I have a lot of predatory people in my life. I'm very passionate about what I do, and they want 50% of everything I do. So I have to be very selective in how I work.
Yeah.
So one, how do you establish a really good team with what you're doing and your success? At the end, God is always first.
Yeah.
And then keeping track
Yeah,
of
let
this?
me answer that real quick. So
I have 2 more, so don't forget.
No.
Okay.
Love that question. So honestly, I think sometimes, and I'm a contractor, so we forget people out there are shopping, right? Like, oh, I'm going to get the cheapest or whatever it is. I'm going to get 30 bids. And I've seen that before. Crazy. Like, how do you have time for that? Like, and
When you're new though, you do that
Yeah.
because you want to figure out who the good guys and bad guys
True.
are.
Yeah.
So I've done that.
And I think I'm speaking more like the Mary, like just people, normal, regular clients. They'll have 30 bids and totally get it. You want to save money. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because at the end of the day, you have to keep those people paid. And there is this line, right? So like my lawyer, we have 3 that we use a lot, depending on what we need it for. But we just go to them every single time. And there's times that I haven't even asked how much it'll be or whatever. I just have them do the work. And I know that it's going to be good work based on the relationship that we have now. But you have to build that trust with them and that relationship, if that makes sense. So at the beginning, it's really hard. You do have to go through different interview process, right? Like find the right people. But you'll know when it's the right fit for you and what you're looking for. So like, for example, like hard money loans, like I know where that could lead if somebody doesn't pay. So like I went with like somebody really good and they charge really good. Hopefully they're not watching. So anyways, but I know that he's going to do a hell of a job. And again, it sucks because I know the importance of saving money at the very beginning. You have to be frugal, and I spoke about that, but you get to a certain level where unfortunately you just have to pay what it is. But you know that they're going to go fight for you and battle for you. And it's the same with like my accounting. There's times where I give him a little more than what he asked, honestly, because he saved me money, right? He legally saved me money with taxes or whatever it is. So like, if I give him a little bit more than what his bill is, guess what he's going to do when I call? So
I take credit to, what your mission is.
Yeah.
So that all comes into play and money doesn't
Yeah.
matter after
Yep.
that. And then the 2 other questions is kids and entitlement. I was a former teacher. 3 years later, I want to make sure my kids aren't entitled and help them grow to a place of like they still have to earn their own keep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lending side, like I lend on some deals. As a Christian and a teacher, I work pro bono. I'm kidding, I don't. But how do you, like the value of money and truly understanding like when is enough? Because there's a lot of greedy people in this world.
Yeah.
So me talking and listening to you and the relationship that you have with Christ, what's too much?
Yeah.
But don't forget the entitlement.
Will do. Yes. Thank you so much. Great questions. So I want to go with that first one. Every summer we give out backpacks down in Lincoln. We'll go with like a certain school or whatever it is, a church maybe. Like this year since I went to the quinceañera class, I brought it up and they were like, well, why don't you do something here at church or whatever? And so now they don't even know. I'm just announcing it now that that's where we're going to take our backpacks this year. But I wouldn't be able to do that without money. And I think that we forget that, like, we've heard it, right? Like, oh, money's evil. No, if you do it for the right reasons, that like my goal is to help out family, right? Help out like my kids, like we have to pay for her college. Which leads to the next question the next question that you had. Well, I wouldn't be able to do that without money, right? And I know that by her going to school, it's going to help other people, right? Because she's going to go to be a lawyer. And again, I'll get to that here in a bit. But I think we have to remove that money's evil and money's this, money's that. Know your worth, know how much to charge, and not every customer is your customer. For example, as a construction company owner, there's times where I rather have one really good customer than 30 investors. Sorry. No, instead of 30 really bad customers, right? But the one is enough for me to be happy, right? We're going back to what I said earlier. So I think it's just knowing what the money is a tool. I have a chapter in The Power of Being Uncomfortable. It's called money isn't everything. And it's funny because I'm arguing the opposite. So you should like check. And actually, it's a free chapter on YouTube. You could look it up and stuff. But I'm arguing that at the end of the day, living in this nation, like we have to pay taxes, right? Like we can't get away from that. But there's people out there that it's a comfortable thing to say that money is this and money is negative and money is that. Most people that say that is because they're not living their American dream. They're not chasing something bigger than them. So the easiest route is to say that about other people and people like us, right? People in this room that are trying to do something with our lives. Like I'm trying to do something with my life. So it's that easy route to point fingers and be like, oh, you're just a greedy bastard or this or that. But they don't know what I said earlier. They don't know what I know. And I'm trying to help my community. I want to go back. Right now, it's still pending. But even through like my group, like we're looking at building a little house in Mexico for a family. Like those are the things that matter to me. And at the end of the day, the more you give, guys, the more you receive. And when you're truly giving, you don't know who's receiving. Because I can tell you that every time that we've handed, there's times where we'll go back to like the middle school that we went to and we'll hand baskets or like any little thing. There's time, there's a lot of things like I don't post on social media where, maybe there's a line and I'll pay for that person's meal or for that person's, especially I'll see like a single mom and I'll pay for whatever it is that they're buying, right? Those are the little things that I wouldn't be able to do if I didn't have the money. And your purpose is in your pain. Right. I want you guys to remember that. Your purpose is in your pain. So go back to whatever you went through and help now. Now you're grown. Now you forgave that little kid. Now you cured that little kid, right? Now go back and help. So to me, anything with single moms or any stuff that I've gone through, I'm going to be there and help. But I can't do it without me making money. So I'm going to keep making money, whether people like it or not. So, and then entitlement. So my daughters are here. I think the key is communication. So like my daughters, I've told them that school is teaching them how to be an employee. And they know that. My oldest, I told them, if you're going to go to be an accountant, if you're going to go to, there's all these different careers that you're going to waste your money. I can teach you that. If you're going to go for marketing, for business, I can teach you that. They know that. So the way that I see it is if you're going to go be a doctor or be a lawyer, then we're going to back you up and you're going to open your own firm when you get there. So those are the things. It's just communicating with them. And they know that. My youngest or my middle child, she hates being called that now that the baby is born. No, but she actually might not go to college. And we're already preparing her for that. It is totally okay. It is totally okay. But then obviously I'm not just sitting there being like, yeah, just don't do nothing. No, like she has to bring me a plan. They know. So the key is communicating, telling them the truth, the reality. And then it's crazy. They'll come home with stories at that point. There's so many stories I could tell you, but like even my oldest came back and said, hey, one of my friends, I went to their graduation and they're not going to college and they're going to do this is the plan or whatever. And the funny thing is that, maybe some of the kids are like, whoa, why, right? Because there's no communication with the parents or they just don't know any better. But knowing what I know, they have that choice. And we're going to set them up and make sure that it gets taken care of. So communication is key.
So thank you for your presentation. Incredible. And I'm just asking, right now, I understand with your mother, what is your most thankful message from her? And why is that? She broke the mold when you came here. So that's my first question. But
I think knowing that, so that's where I feel like I have to do something for her, right? And we're coming up with different ways. Real estate is a hell of a game. So we're coming up with a plan on how we could pay her house off, for example. I just know that we have to do something for that. But I think what I've learned as a parent too is that there was not a lot of communication there. So I've also learned those things and I've actually tried teaching her those things. Like, hey, communicate or do these things. So it just goes back to communication. But, and then it ties back to the whole money thing. I wouldn't be able to start thinking about these things to help her and do those things if it wasn't for the money, right? For the investments that we're having. So.
Excellent. And also those businesses that you began with, they're still with you today. And so those branches of your tree of life are still growing with you, and they're still adding to us as well. So your history is just phenomenal. But that's where it's like, do you see like how you've renewed your mind and you've broken the mold, but you can still see how that's shaping out your branches of what you're able to offer. But can you speak on like just how you keep on, categorizing? Because you're obviously adding to your branches, but you're organized, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, how do is there a principle that you follow that obviously I see all your 7 principles, but your branches are wonderful, but it's just like, is there like a simple proverb that you could say like that would be like that branch that solidifies that branch to be just?
Yeah, I think actually, I'm going to give you guys this, something that I talk about in my coaching when I do the one-on-ones is I want you guys to think of like the recycling bin. And, there's whatever many, I think it's 3 arrows. Well, the 3 things are hustle. So make cash, make money, businesses, whatever. And then the next one is invest. And it doesn't have to be real estate. It could be even like as simple as putting money in CDs, like you're making money, you know what I mean? Put it in the market. And then the next one is super important is vacation/happiness. So what are you doing with that money, right? With that investing, now you're making money. So are you taking those vacations to have those memories? Because again, at the end of the day, that's all that freaking matters. That's why I go so hard to have these memories with my daughters, to have these memories of helping people, of doing the thing. And guys, like I'm just touching the surface, but I'm already trying my best to really get in there and try to help others. So those are the 3 things that I follow. And then you repeat, right? So you come back from vacation, hustle a little bit more, invest a little more, and then go back on vacation. I think at one point we took 1 vacation every month, I think has been the most that we've done. I can't remember if it was a couple of years ago or something, but we're constantly doing that. At the end of the day, again, memories is something that nobody can take away from my kids, from my family. So we're going to keep doing that. We took our mothers a couple of years back to like Disney World. They've never been. And we took them to Disney World. Like those are memories that we just, we're going to cherish those things forever. So.
I know we're down to the wire. I'm going to ask a question because I only sell real estate so I can travel. That's all I do. And the other question I'm going to ask is, as an American, when I travel internationally, I have a lot of people say to me, oh, you can't be an American for one reason or the other. But this is what I have found at my age now, that I will reveal is 60, is that I work with a lot of people who have immigrated to this country. And they, as you say, they work their asses off, and they work their asses off every single day. My question to you is more philosophical, perhaps, is I know so many people, as I said, who've immigrated to this country. They've worked their asses off, and they are far more successful than most Americans I know. Asking you, as an immigrant, I know a lot of El Salvadorians, why? Why do people in this country, why can they not work their asses off? And going back to whoever talked about entitlement,
yes,
I would like to know why you feel immigrants, and I see it time and again in real estate because I do work with investors. Most of the people that I work with are immigrants to this country, and they're not Americans. Why do you feel that when people come to this country and they're not as, I'm going to say, American as we are, why do you think they are much more successful than people born and raised in this country?
Love that question. Love it. Thank you. I think definitely entitlement. That's the first thing, entitlement. We get so comfortable, right, knowing that electricity goes out and you're crying, right? Like you're crying, and at the end of the day, like that's how I grew up. So I think it's the 7 laws that I just talked about, guys. Like I'm not trying to like sell you anything, but like read my book. It's only $15-20 on or it will be on Amazon, or reach out to me. I'm gonna print 100 copies of that book, and like literally, I want you guys to really study those laws, because when I wrote this slideshow and everything, that's where it came from. Was yeah.
And I want to know, why did you people will not bring pupusas. Come on now.
Love it. If you haven't had those, you must. Pupusas. Those of you who haven't had it, they're basically made out of kind of like tacos, but they're a little bit thicker, and they're stuffed inside with the cheese meat, and then you eat them with like a cabbage mix and like salsa. Super good. Hit me up if you need some of those. No, I was like,
It sounds like
I sell everything.
It
No,
sounds like a runza.
But those 7 laws, truly, I tried putting my immigration or like immigrant mentality into it, right? Like when I put these, because it is super important. And I go through it with my daughters. Like I that's where I said I have to communicate with them, because they didn't see what I see, but they can see it through my, matter of fact, like my oldest, she wanted to be an immigration lawyer. That was one of the laws that caught her attention, because again, remember, the pain is in your purpose, right? So she saw the stuff that we've gone through, because I went through hell and back, guys, and you could read it on my first book. In order for me to get the legal status and everything, I went through hell and back, but they didn't see that. So I have to communicate to them. So I think communicating to your kids, and there's people that might criticize you, but again, if they shit, they will laugh at you, right? Like it doesn't matter what their opinion is. There's people that will criticize you because maybe you tell them too much or you talk. No, the communication will never be enough. And I know damn well that if I do anything good in life, it'll be having good kids that understand, that have values, that understand how important this country is to the world, that understand how great this country is. Don't let the news tell you otherwise, guys. Like I keep telling you that over and over. Don't let all that noise distort the stuff that you're meant to do. Put God first. Don't put all the other stuff that's going on. Like put God first and let him guide you in everything that you do. And I promise you that your life will change. Follow the 7 laws. I literally put my immigrant mentality hat on, right? And I'm like, no, what truly, what are the, and that's why, like, you saw the gratitude in there and all those 7 laws. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I just want to say that I commend you for all of your accomplishments coming from what you described. And I'd like to know a little bit more about, you said that you came from El Salvador and you didn't have your dad, and then your mom left. Did you say at age 6?
Yeah.
So I have to say that coming from all of that, with all of your accomplishments and the kind of man that you've become, I just want to say you sound like an amazing dad.
Thank you so
and
much.
You're trying to give your kids everything that you didn't
Thank
have.
you.
So with no running water and no plumbing, and us as Americans, if we were born here and we grew up here, we take a lot of things for granted, and we don't know what that's like. And that's got to be incredibly hard. So I'm just kind of wondering, how did you learn to trust people, with not having your dad and then your mom leaving? I know she came back, but leaving at such a young age. How did you get past that obstacle to be able to trust people and do what you've done?
Yeah, thank you so
since then?
much. I appreciate your comments. That means a lot, because again, remember I said your purpose is in your pain, and with the whole dad thing, like I'd be damned if my kids grow up without a dad. I just don't understand that, right? And but I think what it was educating myself and learning psychology. And how did I learn psychology? Was through reading, podcasts, getting around the right people. But mainly at that point, when I first started to really take my things to the next level, it was just really learning. You have to be a student. And I always say, like, I'm always going to be a student. You have to be a student for the rest of your life, because you will not know everything. And if you think you know everything, that's your ego talking. Remember, we talked about that. Because experience will tell you otherwise. And those of you who are in this room know that you guys have some experience under your belt. So you know that that's what really matters at the end of the day, right? Not oh, I'm this or that, your ego talking. So, and then also understanding psychology, because then you start to, here's the thing, you start to really understand people, and you have to learn how to stay quiet too when it's not. I've learned to stop giving unwanted advice. And it's funny, I put a post up, this was probably 7 years ago, it'll come up on my memories time after time, and I said, someday you guys are going to pay me to give you some advice, right? And I was talking more probably like, you know, whoever I was around at that time or whatever. And it truly, again, because I had these goals, and so understanding psychology, will make you understand how people operate. And then, as much as I hate to say it, but be the bigger person every time. Be the bigger person every time. It's hard, but God doesn't like ugly. And if you are the bigger person every time, you're doing what he wants you to do. So be the bigger person. And then the last tip that I can give you that I've learned is with the whole trust thing, it's been huge. Like, it's been hard, but I've met a lot of assholes too. But I will tell you that out of 10 people you meet, there's the one asshole. Just know that. Just know that there's always going to be that one out of the 10 that you meet. And when you understand people, and all the laws that I just talked about, then you really start to really understand where they're coming from. So then you'll know, okay, should I stay away from this person or should I get closer to them? And the 9 people make it worth it. Don't ever change the good person that you are, is what I'm saying. Don't ever change the good person that you are just because of the one asshole. So
Thank you.
yes. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Wrap it up. Awesome, Billy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Billy Dha Kidd. Hey, Billy, we got an area set up outside there for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna sign some books.
Yes. Yep.
So
come see me.
The first like 15 books or so are gonna be covered there. After they're how much?
Yeah, $20. And actually, I'm gonna do $19.99 tonight. Just come see me.
It's a special. Yeah, so we have an area. We're gonna start the signing here in just a couple minutes. Also, just a couple reminders. We have our event sponsored by Fiber New. Margaritas are gonna be on tap. They're not on tap. They actually made some good ones over there, but they're right down there at the end of the hall. They have some live jazz going on for a little bit down there too. Hopefully, Billy will get on the mic at least one more time. We'll see. I have to give a shout out to, we just rebranded our podcast called The Cash and Dash Show. We had our first episodes come out the last 2 weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you do love it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're doing Alex there is doing a ton of shorts. He's blowing up our page. I appreciate it very much. We're doing some new stuff with that. We got some new a lot of different types of content on there, but just subscribe. That would do huge stuff for us, and give us a review. That would mean the world to us. Jay Scott was our first interview. If you don't know Jay Scott, he wrote 5 books for Bigger Pockets. He's partners with Brandon Turner. I think he's got 15,000+ rental units, and he's based in Economist. That's what we talked about. And then we have Dylan Leslie, also a local guy, Dylan Leslie, on this, I think, tomorrow. So check that out. Before I wrap, if you guys have literally a 30-second thing you want to say on the mic, if there's something you're looking for in your business or a property you want to sell, please do it. But it is late, and I don't want to take too much spot time. But the mic is right there if you have something to get rid of. Maybe going once. Oh, okay, I didn't know how many people are rushing the mic. Okay, there's 2 people.
Hey guys, Al Nelson, Trustworthy Title and Escrow. Been a long time sponsor here at REIA. Work with a lot of investors, and come look me up. Send me your problems. Let's solve them.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you.
My name is CJ Monahan. I own Monahan Lawn Care and Property Services. We're a sponsor of the group as well. I walked in a few minutes late, but we are a full service lawn and landscape company. Mowing, fertilizing, holiday lights, snow, retaining walls, patios, landscaping, anything on a property you can think of, we can absolutely handle it. We still got a few spots left in our weekly mowing schedule. Hit me up if you need anything.
Thank you for renewing too. Appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Michael Schluter. I'm the founder of Omaha Heal Center, So Clean We Heal. If you're interested in having the question, should I replace my flooring or should I just get it clean? I'm about 10% of the price of replacing your flooring. So if you'd like somebody who uses chemistry and physics and just where it's naturally like new, truly transforming upholstery, fabrics, carpet, wood floors, tile, grout, ceiling. And I'm just really able to make you love your home again and put more life into it, at least lasting 2-3 years. I'm your man. Thank you with Omaha Heal Center.
Cool. Thanks.
20% off for REIA members.
Appreciate that. Okay, and real quick reminder at the last booth, the OBO booth, if you have a team for golf or you want to sponsor, go talk to them. Or if you have any questions about the event, talk to them. Appreciate you guys coming out. They're doing the friendly wave over there. And then thank you to our tonight's event sponsor, ROG Sterling. Appreciate all you do. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you guys. And if you need to re-listen to this, go to our YouTube channel, The Cash and Dash. Go to the live tab. Every event that we've had in the last 5 years is on there. I think there's almost 500 videos on there. You can get all this information plus any information we've ever had. So appreciate you guys, appreciate support. Hope to see you guys next month. And I hope to see you guys at our storage event. Have a blessed night. See you later.
I had to quit because towards the end it started chopping. I was just losing a little bit here. I was like, it's not moving good enough for me. That's the biggest thing that's going I came up with formats and contracts to plan, and he dropped the ball on everything. They do one thing that we put together. And so Billy, and actually that same thing happened. I created 7 other cities around the state too. And Norfolk's the only one still going. But they've all failed. Nobody wanted to do it, and it doesn't succeed when you pay for it out of your pocket. Because it's expensive as shit.
Yeah.
And your time's expensive.
It takes effort and a lot of time. Make the calls, you know.
But we'll be at some other events. We did at one point. So I think when Billy's like, I'm going to just do it. So it's a lot of work. And then you have an hour drive. If he said I'll run it, I'd back him up and do it. Never know.
Yeah. It's a lot of effort.
Yeah. Reach out to me if I can help it. Okay.
All right. We'll do. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, I've met you before.
para multiply.